2025. So I'm Darshika from Apari and joining you from Sri Lanka. So it's truly a pleasure to host this gathering of experts and practitioners and leaders from the industry and the all around the world. And your presence reflects the interest and the enthusiasm to the topic. So, as we all know, biopesticides are not just tools for sustainable farming, and they are also key enablers to international trades. And that's why we are talking about this topic. And over the years, we have seen remarkable progress in research and developments and regulatory frameworks and innovative tools and so using biocontrol agents. However, there are several challenges still we are addressing and that's why we continue in these discussions. That's why it is so crucial. So thank you all for being part of this important journey in last year and we look forward to your continuous collaboration. And welcome once again and let's begin today's sessions. And for this, I would like to invite Dr. Ravi to open the session and do the opening remarks and moderate the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Darshika. To save time, I'll just start with the rewind of, I hope you can see my PowerPoints. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
not
sir,
going
we
to
can see.
speak much on the importance and all Darshika has already mentioned. So friends, welcome to this new year 2025. And with the renewed spirit, we are going to carry on our this community of practice on biopesticide, EPCOP as we call it, courtesy all efforts being made by my colleague Darshika. And we would like to seek your guidance at the same time on how we should be improving, how we should be moving forward. So thank you so much for joining. And very briefly, permit me to give a brief rewind on what we have done in the last 7-8 months from the month of May last year. Well, I'm going to skip this. This is just what Apari is trying to fan out globally. Now, coming to the community of practice of Asia Biopesticide, we had done this as a part of the sustainability plan of the successful completion of the SDDF project on Asia pesticide residue mitigation through the promotion of biopesticide and enhancement of trade opportunities, which we implemented in 9 countries across South Asia and Southeast Asia. Now, this project was quite a big success, and the success was measured by the fact that similar projects started in Africa, in South Africa Development Community, in SADC countries by International Center of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, and at the same time, then it started with the support of IICA, with Minor Use Foundation support in Latin America, which is also in the last year of the same project. So then we started our community of practice in the end of May last year, and with an aim to sustain regional and international collaboration in improving biopesticide adoption, usage, and facilitation of the safe trade, and providing a platform for engaging with diverse perspective and fostering knowledge exchange. And here, very briefly, the key takeaways which we have are like these sessions actually covered a wide range of topics, but the key takeaways in terms of research and development we had was an innovative research method in Africa and Latin America to address maximum residue limit was discussed. This is the same from the similar project that we completed in Asia. So we had speakers from Latin America and we had speakers from Africa. Additionally, ongoing research initiatives aimed at safeguarding specialty crops of Minor Use Foundation using biopesticides were highlighted. Private sector insights. In EPCOP, we explored the perspective, challenge, and current status of private sector in the biopesticide space. And we worked on the partnership with success stories from Pakistan, which demonstrated significant improvement in organic bale production, while India showcased the successful commercialization of EPN technology uh, through public-private partnership. This was very important. And Cabby came with a very innovative tool such as Cabby Bioprotection Portal. And then we had from Lex Agri, the Solution Finder, which were presented. These tools actually enable users to make informed decisions by providing extensive data entries, including crop pest combination, alternative biocontrol solutions, and more. And there's much more to be done with these innovative tools. We will see what we can do this year when I come to the program of this year. Then efficacy challenges and solutions were given, especially from Australia. Mizanur Rahman, who has also joined this given COP, how they have adopted a tiered system approach to address efficacy challenges, offering a model for overcoming similar issues in the Asia-Pacific region. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So then we had some discussions on global harmonization of chemical pesticides through joint review system, highlighting potential integration opportunities for the biopesticide. So we then did a compilation of all what we call APARI EPCOP 2024, the Rewind, which we published and shared with you as a glimpse of what we have done. Very quickly, for this year, we will seek your suggestions, but what we are looking for from our side is discuss regional and country level challenges more in expanding collaboration, and then look at the global perspectives and recognize the excellence in introducing new biopesticide technologies, innovative research tool, and regulatory framework. And one thing very important which we would like to signal here is we would like to have industry spotlights to host private sector pitch days, which will be virtual, where companies can showcase new technologies, products, tools, or services. Then across sector collaboration, we would like to see if beyond agriculture, where we find more users of biopesticide with climate change experts, with agroecology experts, with food science experts, and so on, and field level impact showcases. Organize short live stream pre-recorded segments from the field where farmers can showcase the impact of biopesticide on the ground. So with these few words, I would like to thank you all once again, and my special acknowledgement to the list of distinguished speakers, Dr. Nagesh, Dr. Danis, Dr. Malvika, Dr. Ima, Mr. Mizanur Rahman, Minshad Ansari, who in fact came twice to support us, Dr. Ghosh, Dr. Makdoum, Dr. Bina Siddiqui, Mr. Fricks and Mr. Pablo from Lex Agri, Adriana from Latin America, and Imi Garke from the Government and Industry Advisor Canada. So with grateful thanks to all the speakers who made COP a success. It is a beginning. We are trying to fine tune and we're trying to see how we improve for future. But before I conclude here, let me say now we are starting, we have 3 community of practices for Pari. We are starting with another community of practice on public-private partnership, which is more a focus on the Bangladesh for boosting export initially, but gradually we want to make it more public. And so this one, biopesticide, was being managed or moderated by Darshika. So Humaira Sonam will be the person who is a contact person. She has the launch of this same only tomorrow. So if anyone wants to join, you can just note her email ID and all. So this is going to start tomorrow, and there is one in the making on food loss and wastage, which will be by another colleague of ours, Ms. Deepika. And this we are planning to launch in middle of March, and then we are going to equip space by about a week or so, all the three corps. And Darshika will be our overall coordinator for all the corps. But we have a good team now to see that we have more interrelated subject or topics on which we can build upon and share knowledge with all of you. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining, and thank you for being with us. And we hope you will uh, be fidel to this COP, and you will be giving your best to see that this COP becomes a big success. Yes, thank you. And over to you, Darshika.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. I think it's time to start the technical session. You can kindly invite Dr. Sushil and
Okay,
give,
thank you.
yes.
Okay, I'm taking the responsibility of Dr. Richard T. Rausch, who has been quite kind to be supporting us with opening remarks and giving his analysis. Uh, Today, I have the pleasure to welcome Dr. S.N. Sushil, who is Director of Indian Council of Agriculture Research, National Bureau of Agricultural Insect Resources. Very briefly, Dr. Sushil, when we asked for his CV, he said, if you have called me to speak, that is a recognition, but his CV is definitely there on the website. And let me tell you, he is a man who was the key player of plant protection in India and who is for the future guidance. He was the plant protection advisor, Government of India, where significant changes were made, how we can really do safe trade globally. And he played a very, very crucial role developing new manuals, new technologies, new projects, a lot of new things with the IPPC. And he's quite well known in the circle of safe trade. He's a man of biocontrol. He's a man of IPM. He's a man of invasive species. He's a man of finally a plant protection. I mean, you talk about the subject and he's there. He has a rich scientific career before, and now he is a director of this ICR prestigious institution of National Bureau of Agriculture Insect Resources. So without losing more time, Dr. Sushil, I would request you to give us your glimpse, your perspective on will the biopesticide be our future? It is a myth or reality we have been talking about, but we want to have a bit of brainstorming, starting with your thoughts. Over to you, Dr. Sushil.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaste.
Namaste.
And good afternoon, everyone, and good evening, and maybe good morning also for some of us. It's indeed, I can say it's a privilege for me, sir. You have invited me, Dr. Ravi Khetrapal, sir, and Darshika and Richard and all the so many learned, participants I'm seeing on the board. So I'm really grateful to you, Dr. Ravi Khetrapal, sir, for inviting me. It's a very important day in India. Today is a Mauni Amavasya. It's the silence new moon. So, so today, conglomeration of 100 million people in one city of Prayagraj, where the confluence of river Ganges and river Yamuna and also Saraswati. So that's how it's a very important day today. And perhaps it's the first lecture in this series of your COP. So I'll put forth my views. I hope, and definitely some of the views may be debatable as well. So let me share the slides. I think that will be better.
Goedemorgen.
Is it visible? I suppose it is visible
yes,
now.
Dr. Sushil.
And I can just share full screen. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, it's fine. Perfect.
So the topic which is allotted to me today is on potential of biopesticide to gradually replace the chemical of pesticides, whether it is a myth or a reality. So to begin with, let us have a look on the global pesticide use per cropland area, which was published by FAO. So you can see here the dark this marks, no, that comes to the more than 10 kg or plus pesticide use. I'm talking about the entire pesticide, biopesticide as well as chemical pesticide together, more than 10 kg. So the country like this Ecuador, or country like Oman and South Korea, and also Japan and many small countries, even Maldives. So they are using a quite high amount of pesticides, and you can see the picture. And there are about 20,000 commercial products are already available in the market, which are being in use. Maybe in the biopesticide wise, maybe around 10% of it, you can maybe 2,000 plus biopesticides. And the total 4.32 million tons of the pesticides are in use in agriculture. This is the FAO data I'm telling, and since 1990 to 2022, the data says that the per cropland area increase from 1990 to 2022 is 94%. And also the per value of the agriculture production, it is 5%, and the per person it's 35%. That means the population is going up. At the same time, the use of pesticides are also going up. So it is 35% increase from 1990 to 2022. And the country-wise or continent-wise, if you see the Americas, especially the US, they are using some 400 plus thousand tons of the pesticides, Brazil, China, Argentina, and also Canada. And in Asian countries like China is 250 plus thousand tons of the pesticide they are consuming, and India is definitely more, but it is 63,000 metric tons. So now when we see the scenario and the per unit area, like cropland area, so the highest is in St. Lucia. So that is something 20 kg per plus per hectare pesticide use. Then Maldives, country like Maldives and the Oman, they are using a huge quantity of pesticides. In Israel, Japan definitely more, and the Belize, Netherlands, and Korea, and many countries. So the point is already a lot of pesticide is being pumped. We know all the ill effects, but still there is a lot of use of pesticides. The ill effects, when I talk, whether it is you talk of the carcinogenic effect on the human being, that we know the multiple organ cancers, they are already reported in different reports. And also non-human carcinogenic impacts are also there, like disruption of ecosystem balances, the bee colony collapse that we all know, water contamination, airborne drifts, all those ill effects are well aware, everybody knows. And because of all this consciousness on health, whether environmental pollution or health hazard to the human being, slowly people are shifting towards the biopesticides, the non-chemical pesticide. Like you can see here, like synthetic, when we compare with the biopesticide and synthetic pesticide, definitely synthetic pesticides sometimes readily available, and also the very broad spectrum. While when you talk of the biopesticide, mostly they are specific in action and also sustainable in action. That is more important. Whenever we apply a pesticide, chemical pesticide, they have a certain period, a waiting period, and then they will go off. But then biopesticide, most of the time, it keeps on. It's a kind of sustainable in nature, cost effective, of course, and also because of the organic origin. So they are more of eco-friendly nature. And the mechanism of biopesticide actions, if you look at, there are multiple kind of mechanism they possess, and therefore many a times the biopesticides are used as a in resistance management. Now coming to the biopesticide market, how actually biopesticide is progressing. So the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate, if you see, it comes because there are so many now market intelligence agencies are there. So I was just looking at the various data and various publications. So I found that it is coming around 11%. If you take the average, some may say little more, some may say little less, but it comes around 11. It is percent of CAGR. It is coming, and if you compare with the chemical pesticide, the chemical pesticide CAGR is only 4.14%. That means pace of the biopesticide is definitely faster than the chemical pesticide as far as consumption and the marketing is concerned. And the overall, the global biopesticide market, which was there in previous years in 6.2 billions, which is expected to go up by 17.34 billions of US dollar. So, and definitely there is again estimates by the various intelligence, market intelligence agencies that Asia Pacific region is expected to grow still faster than the overall average of the world. So there is a lot of scope and a lot of happenings as far as the biopesticides are concerned. And then when you talk of the biopesticide, it is nothing new, very new things. It is not there. When you look at its history, so 190 years back only, when Augustin Bassi, he reported Bevaria bassiana. See, 190 years we have been using, and it is proven technology. And similarly, Bacillus thuringiensis, a very early 20th century, 1901 only, it was reported by Shigetane Ishiwata. So it was there. Similarly, the products also, commercially available product, way back in 1938 itself, it appeared in France, Sporine. We all know that. And similarly, the NPV, it came in 1975. That means 50 years back in US, we had Alcar in place. So that means there are the number of products which are biopesticide, which are very much there in the field, which is there in the market, in the commercial form, and for ages, like almost 2 centuries we have been using. So it is just a pooled information that how this number of entomopathogenic species, which are being belonging to different entomopathogenic group, whether it is bacteria, virus, fungi, and nematodes, they are very effective and being used in not only single pest or so, even a group of insects, like you talk of the whole order, like Lepidoptera, a number of pests. And a number of like Bacillus thuringiensis, Agioi, or Bacillus thuringiensis, Tenebrionsis, or Bacillus thuringiensis, Kurstaki, they're all being in use, and they're very effective products are there. I'll be talking more on this a little later. So point which I wanted to make, already it is an established fact that the biopesticide is working, and it is environment friendly, and definitely it in many cases we have seen in our own experiments in our and different platforms also, we have seen it works very well. So just I wanted to share some experience from India, how actually the biopesticide is moving, because India is one country which is agrarian country. You can say some around 50% population, which is the highest populated country in the world, and 50% population still depends on the agriculture. So that is how I thought that I will put it as like a case study, so that for better understanding to the audience. So in India, like pests, 10 to 30% losses the insects, pathogens, weeds, and all pests are causing. For this, we have, for native pests, we have system in place like IPM we are promoting like any other country, and domestic quarantine is also in place. For invasive pests, we have pre-entry quarantine and post-entry quarantine. All those arrangements are there. Normally, some 500 grams of pesticide per hectare is in use. Now, when we see the overall data for use of different methods of plant protection, so overall, like when we talk of the winter crop, we call it Rabi crop and Kharif crop. So winter crop and summer crop, when we pull together, and you see that 52% of the crop land area, only chemical pesticides are used, while 7.5% area where only biopesticides are used, only biopesticide. And then there are 10.2% area where both pooling together, biopesticide as well as chemical pesticide, both together are used. And there are 30% area where nothing is used. So that means this figure, when I say today, it is 7.5% area in biopesticide, which was hardly 7, 8 years or 10 years back, it was hardly 3% area. Now 7.5% area exclusively biopesticide. Perhaps because the government is also emphasizing more on the organic farming and natural farming in certain areas. That could be one reason. And also awareness in the general public about the ill effects of the chemical pesticide. Perhaps that is another reason why the people are now shifting towards the biopesticides. So that is, the figure is changing very fast. So look at this figure, this graph. The green one is the biopesticide figure. So 4,237 tons of biopesticides we were using in 2009-10. Now it has gone to 9,321. It is more than 100% increase last 10 years roughly. And while in the case of chemical pesticide, which we were using 41,821 metric tons of the pesticide, which has gone to 63,284 tons of pesticide. That means it is hardly 50% increase in the chemical pesticide use, while at the same time the biopesticide use has gone more than 100%. It's a more than double use of the biopesticide. This is statistics from India. And the overall, if you see the registrations in India, like 946 formulations of pesticide we have registered, of which more than 10% are biopesticide. Earlier, it was hardly 1% or 2%. Sometimes back only, I'm not talking very far, long back, but it's like a few years back. Now 122 formulations are registered in India, formulations of biopesticide, and there are roughly 600 companies are working on the, commercializing the biopesticides. So there are 2,606 companies which are fully registered, with the KYC and all. They are registered companies, but there are 600 companies which are exclusively working on the biopesticides. So this is really a good sign. Apart from this, there are some more figure I just wanted to put forth before all of you, that of all the biopesticide, if you see the distribution, mostly the fungi-based biopesticides are used more, 66%, followed by bacteria-based biopesticide, then virus-based biopesticide, and then others. Within fungi-based biopesticide, 56% by trichoderma, occupied by trichoderma. Excellent products we have on trichoderma. Similarly, Beauveria bassiana, followed by that is 17%, like that others are there. And among these, the bacterial-based biopesticide, the Pseudomonas fluorescens is definitely on the higher side, followed by that the Bacillus we are using in good amount. And almost all the crops we are using the biopesticide, whether it is a cereal or vegetables or pulses or oilseed or fruits, plantation crops, cash crops, fiber crops, you name almost all the crops, we have the biopesticide, we have the solution of biopesticide for managing the pest. So now, apart from this commercial organization, commercial industries, the government also is supporting in a big way. Like government-funded units are also mass producing the, whether it is parasitoids or predators or the microbial. When I say microbial, that includes a large number of something about 16 different types of microbials which are being produced at the government units. And also one of the project like All India Coordinated Research Project on Biological Control, which is a pan-India one very big program is there, under which some 620,000 hectares of area, the biopesticide exclusively only under the biological control program or the biopesticide is being used. No chemical pesticide as such is being used. These are the government funded program where the government is supporting to make people aware more about the better part of the biopesticide rather than going for the insecticide. Now, see, the major times, many of the debates, there are the discussion. When the invasive pest comes, then what, do we have any answer? So always there is, the people will comment that, we cannot do anything unless there is the only option left is the chemical pesticide. So here some experiences I wanted to share, even in case of invasive pests. There are, immense opportunity, and we have proven in the past that I will be talking little more on this. When you see the economic impact of it's a world scenario which was published by the Intergovernmental Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystems, IPEPS. So 60% of the global extinctions are because of the invasive that we say, and 90% mostly in the islands. And every decade, some 4 times of economic cost it incurs whenever there is an invasive pest. And the good quality of life is also impacted to the extent of 85% to the invasive pest. Now, that is how there are the various debates, there is a discussion when there is a invasive pest, definitely the only answer is the chemical pesticide. So I thought that I will put some of the slides and some of the success stories without using chemical pesticide, how we are controlling or managing the invasive pests. So like maize fall armyworm is one case. The cassava mealybug very recently, Phenacoccus manihoti, which invaded India. This was the situation which we invaded. I will be telling little more on this, how we manage it. Then tomato pinworm, you all know, 2014-15, it invaded India and many other countries as well. So for that, a huge quantity of pesticides. It's a real picture taken by one of my scientists in the field. How the farmers, you can imagine how much pesticides are being pumped in the environment. So coming to the management of fall armyworm, as I said, so it invaded India in 2018 and reported from 182 host plant. Of course, the maize continued to be the major affected crop, followed by other crop like sorghum, ragi, and bajra, this finger millet and pearl millet and sugarcane and rice, such crops, and damage to the extent of 40 to 100%. But what we did, we developed immediately, within a year or 2 years, we developed an excellent technology and pheromone with the slow release with nanotechnology using nano platform. And also that some of the isolates pesticide resilient kind of Trichogramma chilonis and some releases. Apart from this, BT based one product, then metarhizium anisopri, that is entomopathogenic fungi based product, and also NPV. We identified very good NPV, which is very effective. So NPV based product, that's a virus based product, and also EPN based product, that is a Heterodabditis indica based product. So such kind of products, I will just go quickly. So 2018, we reported, and then incidence first time in 2018, it was about 70% crop plant damage. But by 2022 or 23, it came down to 6% to 20%. Now, how it happened? Just see the data. So we grow roughly 9 million hectare area maize, where 2019-20, 11% of the area it was damage was there. But it came down slowly to 2022-23. So it is not only the pesticide control. It was because of the lot of natural control is already happening, which I wanted to throw some light on this, how it happened. When 2018, when it invaded India, we were working on it, whether any natural enemy is there. So our own native natural enemies, see, when the pest comes, natural enemies may not follow it, but there are already natural enemies which are there in the country, which may definitely, they are also looking for the host and for their prey. So naturally, some 6 pests only, immediately 6 parasitoid we reported. But within 2 to 3 years, the situation changed. 10 more parasitoid we reported. They include egg parasitoid, they included larval parasitoid, they included people parasitoid as well. See, all these natural parasitoid which were there in this ecosystem, they started giving the ecosystem services to us. And they started controlling all these pests, the fall armyworm. That is how, so many times we are talking that it can be like in IPM, chemical pesticide as a last resort. Why last resort? Why not biopesticide as a last resort? There are the ecosystem services which are provided by the lot of natural enemies. They are there. Had there been a spraying of the pesticide, perhaps we could not have seen these parasitoid in the field. Since in many of the areas where, as I said, only 11% area, other areas they were there, but immediately all these parasitoid came. So we reported. Now, apart from these parasitoid, there are the microbial pathogens. We recorded so many microbial pathogens, in naturally occurring microbial pathogens. So there is up to 74% the fungal pathogen, the bacterial pathogen, the NPVs, and others. So the natural control we could observe in the field, and excellent result they were giving. So now what we did, we just isolated from the field, from the cadavers we isolated, and we went for the making it like a formulations and that thing. This is one experience from the northeastern India. 56 to 73% of the larvae were found infected by the naturally by the various kind of entomopathogens. Now, what we did, we isolated and we made the formulation. We worked further, like all the you can see the one of the BT which we isolated, having cry protein and other genes related to insecticidal protein. You can see the number of genes are there. Excellent product we got, and it is giving excellent result in the field. We made a formulation. Now it is being commercialized. Another product like NPV based product, we made a formulation. As I said, first time we only recorded, then we made a formulation. Now it is being commercialized. Then we made a formulation of metarhizium and isopli, which is very effective against Spodoptera fragiperda, the maize fall armyworm. Then EPN. So we got some of the EPN isolate, which was giving excellent result, and see the result, 87.56% control under field condition. So under field condition, this much control, which is almost on par with the emamectin benzoate. So why to unnecessarily go with all sorts of chemical pesticides when there are already, and I'm talking about not only one, there are 3, 4, 5 in the bouquet. We have a number of biopesticides which are very effective. Already ecosystem services are being provided by the parasitoids. So I feel the blending this biopesticide with the natural enemies rather than blending with the insecticide, I think that we have to think over. Similarly, one more case I wanted to put here, like another invasive pest. That is Rugose spiraling whitefly in coconut and areca nut and all these crops. It was like creating a havoc. Now we were working on it. Now we found one of the parasitoid. Here you can see in the center, this parasitoid Encarsia guadalupe. This is this parasitoid. It gives a very good result. But at the same time, we found one of the entomopathogen, that is Eisseria fimosorosia. So we were working and we found it is giving again a very good result, excellent result, more than 70 to 80% in one spray mortality we could observe. So if you give another spray, 1 or 2 sprays, it controls fully. At the same time, your Encarsia guadalupe, the parasitoid which are there in the field, they are also saved. Now, only problem was when we how to spray on these canopies, the coconut and such thing. So we tried through drones, and drones there was a problem of clogging. So we worked on the different formulations. So finally, one of the formulations, oil-based formulation we made. There is no clogging. We can spray as long as you want. There is no clogging in the nozzles of the drones, and it is both the products like Encarsia guadalupe, the parasitoid, along with the biopesticide, giving excellent result. So that way there is no need of any pesticide to be sprayed in the coconut ecosystem if the such kind of whiteflies are there. Very recently, there's one cassava mealybug. It invaded India. Now in 2020, we were searching for some of the pathogen. Some of the entomopathogens were working very well, but by that time we got to know that Anagarus lopezi, which somehow we got from ITA, we imported here, and we went for the mass releases in different states of all cassava growing states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Pondicherry. So all these areas we have released, and so finally the parasitoid within a year it is fully established. The production normally 20 to 25 tons per hectare, which we were getting, suddenly it gone down to 6 to 8 tons. Now it gone back again. We are getting as usually as we were getting earlier production, like again 20 to 25 tons we are getting just by release of the Anagarus lopezi, one parasitoid. There was even the biopesticide, though we have in our kitty some biopesticide in hand. In our experiments we have seen, but still we are not recommending because this itself is controlling very well. And from the point of release, even from 30 kilometers away from the point of release, we are retrieving the parasitoid. It is fully established. Last 1.5 years we have been working on it. It is fully established, and all these area, most of the area, it has become like a minor pest. very new challenge, which is posing challenge to us, like Thrips parvispinus, the chili thrips, that is the Southeast Asian thrips. It invaded India in 2015, but somehow it was like, not that much problematic. But suddenly 2021, 22 onwards, it started creating problem. So we are working on it, and we have developed some of the very good product, giving up to 80% control. Only 2 sprays if you give, it controls fully. So that includes the Pseudomonas based product and also Bacillus albus and some of the consortia we have made. So these are the products. Um, uh, the point which I wanted to make, there are the biopesticides are a good solution. The only thing is that you need to have a right isolate, a right strain, which is effective in the ecosystem. It may not be suppose something, some isolate from India may not be working in Bangladesh or some other country, or from the Bangladesh may not be working here, or within India also something from down south may not be working in north, or maybe in the temperate region of India. So temperate climatic conditions, no, it may not work. That is how the selection of isolate and an effective isolate definitely will serve the purpose. So so that is how I say that, do we really need chemical pesticide over the biopesticides? So I feel that now gradually the chemical pesticides, there is a feeling that let us go ahead with the biopesticide rather than having a chemical pesticides. But definitely the gradual replacement, what we are thinking of the chemical pesticide, definitely is not a myth, provided if all the challenges, because it comes with the challenges. So now this is my last slide, I will be speaking on it. So the challenges which it is put forth. So now we have to address the challenges. So the most important thing, many times the industry will be talking about the shelf life. So most of the time the biopesticides may be having the lesser shelf life, mostly 1 year, like EPN earlier 3 to 4 months. Now we have a product having 1 year. Many of these, so 18 months if it is effective, then only 1 year we get. So so most of them are now 1 year shelf life. And then cost effective novel formulations of baculovirus and EPN. This is the demand from the industry side. What is the R&D organizations have to do is to develop some technology. Like for example, the NPVs, it has to be multiplied only in vivo condition. Like EPN, again, most of the time in the wax moth and all that. So the overall process becomes very cumbersome. They may not be interested in that, and it becomes a little costly as well. So that is how there is a demand from the industry that should we have a kind of cell line culture and then bioreactors in place, or fermentation technology for mass production of such biopesticides, which are very effective. Strains are very effective. Only the production is one area, so that we can reduce further the cost of the biopesticides. And the synthetic biology platform, now we are successful in some of the cases, like some pheromones we are now already attempting using the biological platform through high efficiency enzymatic transformation that we are doing. So some of the process need to be further simplified, so that industry takes more interest in this. Another point which is again very, very important, like some of the biochemical based products like secondary metabolites, peptide based products, DSR, double stranded RNA based product, miRNA based product, they are very specific, very targeted, and we have in our lab also we have developed. Now the biggest challenge here is how to take the registration, because the regulatory, and I'm really happy, sir, you presented here that the regulatory aspect also you are covering under the COP. This is very, very important. Like the products like now the companies are more interested in like secondary metabolites kind of product. They are not interested in Bavaria Bacillus. They are interested in Bevaricin, or they are not interested in Bacillus subtilis. They are interested in subtilin. So like that, double-stranded RNA is very targeted kind of product, miRNA-based products, so very targeted. So such kind of product should see light of the day. And that is how some kind of regulatory bodies need to think over it in all the countries. I think sometimes they get confused whether it is some like some transgenic kind of thing or something. So we need to make them understand is that they are all biochemical products and they need a kind of support from the regulatory bodies. And also there is the need to have a consortia, like we are making now, selling consortia of fungicide as well as the insecticide. Now the combination products are coming. Similar way, there are the many associated diseases. When the insect comes, the disease will also come along with the insect. Now the farmer, as a user, they want a combination product like entomopathogenic microbial along with the antagonist product, so that antagonist, once any sucking pest will come, naturally sooty mold will also follow. So can we think of like developing a consortia of both the products together? And there is a possibility. I think this is a demand from the industry. These are the challenges I wanted to put forth. Then prioritizing the biopesticide with natural enemies. That's what I said earlier also, for the sustainable control. Rather than prioritizing use along with the chemical pesticide, let us promote more with the natural enemies. Let us respect the ecosystem services which is being provided by our natural enemies right in the field. Extensive search for the potential native microbial. This is one area I feel is very, very important. Can we think of like more native, so that zone-wise release of the biopesticides, if we can think of, like rather than within a country for pan India or pan one full country, can we think of like every country has a different microclimatic, agroclimatic zones. So zone-wise also we have to define the microbial which is to be used so that they are more effective in the field condition. And also fast tracking of the registration is one area I feel is very important. So whatever registrations we are making, good new products are coming. Biopesticide, anyway, many countries, I know US and many countries, even India, we are fast tracking the biopesticide simplification. Guidelines are simplified for biopesticide, that is there. Europe and all, some countries I know they are very strict still, but then some countries are very, very, very easy pathway they have developed and easy guidelines they have brought in. So what is required is the more fast tracking registration of the novel biopesticide is one area I feel is important. So these are some of the challenges I feel that if they are addressed, definitely the biopesticide can see the light of the day. It will definitely, the CAGR, you have seen the 11% versus 4%. It is already there, but this CAGR will go further up. And the biopesticide one day will definitely, as I said, 52% area chemical pesticide being used here and 7.5% biopesticide. This figure will reverse. 52% will go to the biopesticide and for 7.5% we should go or will go to the chemical pesticide. So with these few words, sir, I am really grateful to you and your entire team for giving me this opportunity. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I will stop here.
Thank you, Dr. Sushil. Thank you so much for such an excellent presentation. Not only presentation, excellent work done behind the scene to prove your point that it is not a myth, it is a reality. Biopesticide can replace chemicals, but there are challenges, and challenges need to be overcome by many ways of like increasing the shelf life or making it cost effective, bringing synthetic biology platform, molecular approaches, regulatory focus, and so on. I think you opened a kind of a full menu of the solutions to really make it happen now, where we are talking of sustainability of planet, agroecology, minimizing the use of agrochemical, and so on. And the experiences you have gained, I think, are excellent. And there may be more from other parts of the world which we will capture. But since time is short now, and we would like a kind of debate or discussion on your ideas of this being a reality, the future of biopesticide. And the first question, before anyone asks, please raise your hand. I see from Francois from Global Forum of Agriculture Research and Innovation, a good friend of Apari. He's asking, Francois, better you ask your question.
Extending shelf life of biopesticides seems to be...
Well, yes, the question is obvious. it's the shelf life is really a big challenge. And what type of expertise would you need?
Actually, at the researcher level, we are like at my institute itself, one of the product BTK. So recently we have registered with the government of India, and we are promoting it in a big way. And 3, 4 companies, I think yesterday only I signed another MOU with one company. So now it is since 18 months when there is a shelf life, they give for 1 year as per the regulators regulatory norms. But then when now we are working, we have made it the capsule form, and it is last 2 years it is still effective. That means there are the formulations. Only formulation technology has to be done by the scientist at the or maybe the industry if they have R&D system in place. Otherwise, developers of all these biopesticides, they need to think over and develop a kind of product which is having more shelf life. This is one requirement from the industry side. It is achievable target. See, I'm seeing one product. I'm just telling you, 1 year we have got, but 18 months it is effective. But on the label we have to write only 1 year shelf life. So that way, but then other formulation which we are making, it is giving 2 years, more than 2 years rather. So still we are working on it. So when the period will be over, we'll be definitely come out with again a kind of proposal for enhancing the shelf life.
Thank you, Dr. Sushil. Are there any more questions for Dr. Sushil? Any more clarification? Anyone
I
who can?
might just add a little bit about the
Please,
formulation.
Rick Rush.
I think it's not just a matter of creating formulation that keeps the living organisms going, but you also need to do the real trick of formulations. How do you put something together that when you spray it will stay on the plant? So a lot of people have been looking at this. I think it is very challenging. A really good group of chemists at the University of Sydney about 15, 20 years ago was working on this for fungicides using fungal diseases of plants. And they came up with some really unusual invert emulsion formulations. Dow was interested and even did a licensing agreement on it. But it just says that it's challenging stuff. And you need to have expertise both on the biological and the chemical side to drive a lot of these things.
That's true. That's true.
Thank you, Rick, for the comment. Any more comment or question?
There is something on chat box.
Yeah, okay, let me check.
Somebody is asking explain privatization for natural enemies.
Okay.
So that small pan-India private companies will survive in livelihood. Explain.
Yeah, she's here.
Actually, privatization. As on today, in the database, on our site also you can see the database where 225 functional biocontrol laboratories are there. And as such, there is no regulation on the natural enemies. When we talk of the microbial, like parasitoids and predator, there is no regulation to check. So, so like biopesticide, you need to register under the Central Insecticide Board and Registration Committee, CIB and RC registration is required. But then here in the natural enemies, there is no regulation. So anybody who's interested, definitely, already there is a huge demand. But the people are not able to. For example, in our institute, 137 species of live culture we are maintaining. Species and strains of insects we are maintaining live culture. And also we are giving training and providing nucleus culture. So if anybody is interested, we are always ready to give training and also the nucleus culture. That is more important. So training you can take anywhere, but who will provide you nucleus culture? So hands-on training we provide on the microbial, and it has a lot of opportunity, especially the organic farming and natural farming pooling together. Roughly 10 million hectare area it is being practiced. Organic farming and natural farming, roughly 10 million hectare area. So there is a lot of demand. So definitely private companies should come forward, and maybe startups kind of companies, they can come forward and join. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Sushil. Any more question from any of the audience here? If not, Dr. Sushil, I take liberty to ask you a question because the world is moving towards sustainable farming and agroecology more.
Yeah. Yeah.
This agroecology is something we have to do on a landscape. It's ecology. It's not just agriculture. It's beyond agriculture, in fact, which is normally in a small farm or field. So when you talk of the ecological aspects, the point comes in agroecology, like you have to be using more of the nature positive solution. Now, when you talk of nature positive solutions, do you feel biopesticide can be a future to sustain the field of agroecology as such? Because
Yes.
even agroecology, there are question marks unless we do it properly with the innovation champions and all, with farmers. Do you think biopesticide can contribute there? The problems will be there. Pests
That
will come from
yes.
anywhere. Yeah.
Actually, the awareness is more important here in the sense what is happening, the field, if any pest comes, the mindset of the farmer is immediately they will go for the spraying kind of some chemical pesticide, something.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
point is, what is the stage of the crop? Whether it is actually required. For example, suppose today we are sitting in the month of January. So now the temperature is going up. Now some pest which likes the winter season only, they may go off. So unnecessary why to spray? So that
Yeah.
is the climatic and also pest. The crops compensation ability. So it is not that every time you go for spraying, the crops plant itself is having compensation ability. So look at it whether the plant is already having compensation ability, then only you go for it. And the pest defender ratios that we always say in the ISA based IPM, what we say, pest defender ratio. So if defenders are already there in the field, why to go for any kind of approach? Now, as a last resort, so biopesticide definitely it can be, but the right stage, as Richard was pointing out. So right stage is also very important. So it's like suppose any biopesticide, very late stage you are applying. So it may not be effective. But the early stage, like early larval stage, if you are applying like first instar, second instar, if you are applying, definitely it will work. But then you applying at the fifth instar level, perhaps may not be that effective. So those awareness is important, and definitely, sir, as you said, biopesticide can be like a last resort. Before that, already and the resistant varieties you are already using. So if resistant varieties are there, population will always be less only. Pest and disease will be less. If at all they are there, what is the stage of the crop, whether it is really required, and also what stage, whether the plant is having compensatory ability, plant can compensate, it can defend. So that way, and then already defenders are already there, then there is no use, they can take care of. So that way, I think more like, awareness is required. And it has to be taught through such kind of platform to the farmers, and also, even the scientists have to interact more and more with the farmers. That's what I feel.
Thank you, Dr. Sushil. I see Dr. Ehsanullah raising hand.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. As you know that the Bangladesh and India, actually the farmers are very reluctant to use synthetic pesticide because they it is not clear.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Dr. Hassan.
Okay. So because they see the immediate result when they use the chemical or synthetic pesticide. So I think from extension side and research side, both has to show the demonstration, the use, how to use a biopesticide, when and how, and which crops, etc. If this is not shown practically to the farmers, they will not be interested to use more biopesticide. What do you think, sir?
No, that is true. The farmers' mindset is they want immediate control.
Yes.
So now how to change their mindset? See, if as I showed you, like a fall armyworm case, had there been a profuse spraying, perhaps those parasitoids would not have been there. They are already controlling.
Yeah.
So since we have avoided pesticide, we only promoted biopesticide, the parasitoids were flourishing. And more native parasitoid came into picture. And they started functioning and working. So that is how I feel. So biopesticide are entire biological control seen in a right perspective. So it has to be taken into a package form. Not like
Maya Krishna, can you be on mute, please? Mr. Chinmaya Krishna, can you be on mute? Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Sir, my point is, suppose biopesticide or a biological control per se cannot be like at the late stage when there are already pests is there, then you are suddenly asking, they are the natural enemies, they have to attack, they have to infect, and then they will take some time to weaken the pest and they kill the pest. So it will take time, but then entire package form from the beginning, from the crop showing onwards only, if the farmer is attentive, definitely he doesn't require any chemical pesticide. If he is not attentive, then only like we do yoga, we do all the things, we are fit, our immune system is fit, so we are not going to allopathic doctor. And if you are not doing anything, definitely we are always exposed to any kind of pathogen and go to the doctor for getting the allopathic medicine. So that is something like that. From the beginning only, you have to see the plant vigor, plant health from the beginning. It has to be looked into the entire perspective, not like as a last day when everything gone, then only going to the field and spraying something. So I feel so.
That is a good point. We don't need to refer to biopesticide when we are in the ICU, intensive care unit. We should avoid going there. Thank you, Dr. Sushil. We will take one last question from Mr. Mohsin Zulkaman Hussain Abbasi.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to ask a question. So, basically,
Mr. Chinmaya Krishna, can you
Dr.
please
Sushil
switch off?
explained.
Yeah, sorry, please. Please, I'm sorry, Mr. Mohsin, carry on. Yeah, Mr. Mohsin, we are waiting for you to speak. Sorry for that inconvenience.
Doesn't matter, sir. As Dr. Sushil prescribed each and every step to reach to the farmers about biopesticide, how it works, and what is the benefit. Here, can we disseminate this information to the ground level of farmer to adopt this technology or this practice to use the biopesticide in the field? And number two, if there is a greed to the farmer that if you grow your crops by using biopesticide, there would be a good amount, good incentive will be given into the market to farmer. So if they will have concern that hello, are you getting me, sir?
Yeah, we are listening to you. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. If there will be a concern of a farmer that there is there should be two types of price should be set, that the people who are growing their crops on synthetic chemicals should be rated this, and those farmers those are growing their maintaining their field on biopesticide should be paid this. So I think there will be a revolution kind of thing can be happen in the future if farmer take it as a increment incentive or such a kind of things.
That's true. That's true. It is happening. There are success stories like in India, I can say the organic farmers are getting premium price compared to the normal farmers. So it is already the organic produce. We have organic certification agency. They will certify. They will look at it, all the the residue of pesticide and all your protocol. If you are following, then they register and their products are getting better price in the market. That is their premium price they are getting.
Thank you, Dr. Sushil. Friends,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking this question, Mr. Mohsin. We will extend the COP by 5 minutes, if you all agree, because I find a lot of interest being generated. There are a few queries in the chat also. But first of all, Ms. Mehbooba Jahan, you have raised hand.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Shil. I am Professor Mahbooba Jahan, Department of Entomology, Bangladesh Agricultural University. Thank you for giving us such a elaborate status on biocontrol and biopesticides in India. Really, I'm happy to know you are producing many important biocontrol agents in your institute. I'm also like to know, actually, as you have given very good and elaborate your work and your actually status in right now in your country. But I like to know how you actually accommodate when you use biopesticides in a one farmer field, and also if they using any insecticide, whether no prior these are compatible or not. Do you do this when you are prescribing any biopesticide in your country for your farmer for any crop? Do you prescribe them some pesticides which are very much compatible with your biopesticide and with your biocontrol? This is my question. Do you do this?
No, actually in India, we have a system in place wherein whatever pesticide we register, we give a label claim. Depending on its efficacy, we give a label claim. So every pesticide, if you see the label, you will see in which crop against which pest it is recommended. So we recommend only that. We never say that you mix with this, mix with that. Whatever is written on the label, that is only recommended. See, the farmer can do anything. We don't have any control on them. Even Act is also not having any control on them. But then, yeah.
Yes, as you are
I
found you have been working long on these biopesticides.
Yeah.
Have you ever found any biopesticides are not compatible with biocontrol agents? Do you have any evidence on your area?
Biocontrol agents
maybe trichogramma, because it is really
they
very good.
They are very, very compatible. That's what I wanted to show you. Like
yes, that's right.
I give you example
but Bracon, what about Bracon? What do you find?
Whether you talk of Brecon ibeta, Brecon brevicornis, all are having a different niche area. They don't eat each other.
But one thing I would like to share. Sometimes from my experience, Bracon are actually attacked by some pathogens. So sometimes also it seems that
could be very, very stray cases. No, that could be
that's right. So it is not always happening. You think that? No. So what do you think about when it case in especially in an annual crop, not perennial? Do you suggest for conservations always in your country?
It's
agroecological management or anything with the biocontrol and biopesticides? Any plan of this work when you prescribe? Yeah. Do you do this?
Yeah. We always discourage chemical pesticide. That is always the last resort. Always we support, first of all, natural enemies like parasitoids, predators, for releases, that too scheduled releases, that we always prescribe. Then we go for the biopesticide. If at all not possible, then go for the biopesticide. That too, again, the stages we decide. Then chemical pesticide, normally we don't recommend.
Okay, when you apply the biopesticide.
In last we write like a last resort, like in a package of practices. As I showed you one figure, 600,000 of a hectare area under the one of the program, like All India Coordinated.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
All to give a kind of awareness to the people. So for that matter only, those demonstrations are taken. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr.
Do you have any transport systems for especially for biocontrol or storage technique,
Biocontrol,
new
definitely,
kind of.
definitely. We
You
have a
have,
system
okay.
of
Okay, I will keep in touch. I will keep in touch. Thank you very
different
much, Dr.
system of.
Sushil, giving us such a good information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahbooba Jahan, asking such a good question, I should say, where you can look for more scope of collaboration. Yeah, friends, we have a comment on the chat. If we all in the group are aware of the accomplishments of copper based in the Netherlands. May I request Dr. Rick Roche to kindly highlight a bit, because I don't think we are aware of this copper.
Right. So copper was found by a gentleman named Coppert in the Netherlands, and he started developing various strategies to mass rear and distribute biological control agents. So predatory mites like Phytocilus persimilis, various Incarcia for whiteflies and so forth. And he had, they put a lot of effort into technology to mass rear the things, then package them in a way that they would be preserved during transit, and then it be released. The thing that struck me about it is I had occasion to wander through greenhouses all over North America, and I was surprised at how often I'd see copper labeled tags. So it seemed to me that in real world it was getting on the ground, and I'm not sure how if there's ever been much offering of it in any of your countries.
Yeah,
But they
it is
seem
there.
to be very effective. Sorry, Sush.
No, it is very much there. Copper are here also in India. They are there. They are there. They are some of the parasitoid we allowed them to import because already, for example, one species of Encarcia, they are Diclyphus, or Anagyrus, or anything. So already native parasitoid, already maybe genus is same species, could be little different, and some are same also. For example, Trephrodremus transvalensis, predatory mite. Or there are so many other mites, predatory mites we are having in our collection. We have developed the technology also how to release them. Already in many of the, especially the protected cultivation, they are taking and using. They are there and they are working here, and they want a kind of collaboration. Now they came forward, they want a kind of collaboration with my institute here so that they can set up a one kind of, because every time we cannot allow them for imports of parasitoid. They can mass multiply here itself. India is a big country, and there they will get a good market. So 2-3 times we allowed, but now uh, we are telling the same species why you want every time import and then really distribute to farmers. It is commercially also seems to be a little costly affair. So we were telling that you just develop your system here only, production unit here, and multiply. And the way we are doing 137 species we are maintaining, multiplying, releasing, giving to the farmers, giving to the different research institutions. So that way they can also do here. But I'm aware.
Thank you.
I'm aware of that, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Can I?
Hello.
So very good afternoon, Dr. Sushil.
Yes, sir.
And
Great.
also very good afternoon, Dr. Kshetrapal ji. Is he audible? He's not audible, I think. Yeah, I just
Sorry,
because
I was on mute. Please ask your question.
Yeah, actually, I was traveling, so that during my travel, I was not able to listen properly. Anyway, I could grasp the way the number of questions and interaction going on. One of the best presentations as summed up by Dr. Kshetrapal. So my question is, sir, now in India, so much of that the government is aiming for converting 1 crore farmers for natural farming, and we have a big program for organic farming mission. But with all my experience, what I feel is bioagents is not taking off as much as we expected. Like it is IPM and bioagents put together will not be more than 5%, I believe. So at this juncture, probably we can't totally do away with pesticide. That I agree. But whether we can have these compatibility of at least some of these pesticides with those bioagents. In that regard, whether your institution has taken up some projects or initiative to see that the compatibility, at least those eco-friendly pesticides or fungicides or weedicides, whatever, to have a good go to cover up the, if not 90%, maybe around 20, 30, 40% in the coming days. This is what I just wanted to, whether your institution has taken up certain things over that issue.
Yeah, quick response, Sushil.
So, sir, it is not the figure like this. The government data says 7.5% area now we are using biopesticides exclusively.
75%.
7.5%. 7.5%.
Okay,
52% area chemical pesticide, 7.5% area biopesticide, 10.2% area both chemical as well as biopesticide together, and 30% area nothing is used. So this I am telling the government data, and then and that means this 7.5% area which is exclusively on biopesticide, which was there hardly 3% area. In last 7-8 years, it has gone to almost double. The pace of CAGR also, if you see, it was 11% of biopesticide, while the chemical pesticide hardly 4%. So compound annual growth is also the biopesticide going very fast. So that way, because of the consciousness now, and those days are gone when the biopesticides, now the biopesticides having good shelf life. Now more effective strains are coming in the market. More better formulations are coming in the market. That is how the mindset is now changing. All the organic farming, natural farming, such people, sir, in India now there is a lot of focus. So all are now depending on the biopesticides. Because I presented some of the success stories, how with biopesticides only, how the pests are being controlled. So it is possible, as you said, the compatibility, there are the experiment check we are doing. So they are compatible, some are compatible, some are not compatible. That we are doing in All India Coordinated Research Project, all kinds of things we are doing. So per se, those results and a lot of papers are also coming. So that is there. But why to use chemical pesticide when we have already good biopesticides?
That's fine, sir. But
yeah, Dr. Chinmaya, we need to end because we have overshooted time by 15 minutes. Kindly continue at a personal level with Sushil, and please let us know if anyone has any question. I'm really sorry. I want to end with the note, the last line which Dr. Sushil mentioned. Why to use biopesticide when we have a chemical pesticide? We have enough of biopesticide well known for the efficacy and all. I mean, that was a very, very strong and very positive statement which comes up, which qualifies the title like, yes, it is not a myth. It is only a challenge to see that gradually we get biopesticide, which is a kind of a happy scenario for all of us and our future generation. And I see one hand raised by Mr. Guntupalli. I will ask him to please be in touch with Dr. Sushil. And I will thank one and all for your participation, for your inputs, for your excellent questions. And very, very special thanks to Dr. Sushil for a real excellent in font size 44 bold, excellent lecture. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And can we have a group photo quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Darshika, if you can.
Yes, I have.
On your
Yes, I
video,
can.
all of you? Whether we are photogenic or not, we need to switch on the video.
Okay, thank you everyone. I have got it. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to your continuous collaboration. We look forward to meet you in next month. We will share you all the relevant details through your emails. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Darshika. I hope you took the photo, no?
Yes, I got the photo. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sushila. It was a great
Thank you,
presentation.
sir. Thank you.
Very great. And thanks, Francois, for joining. Happy to see you.
Everyone.
Good morning. Welcome. Have a good day
Thank
or
you,
good
sir.
night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Sorry,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Chinmaya Krishna, I had to stop you because we were too much overshooting time.
No, Dr. Nayak is there. No, Dr. Nayak was asking. Maybe
It's all
name
right,
some
sir.
other people.
I think no. If you have time, I could have quickly observed one thing.
Yeah, we'll discuss, sir. And
Yeah.
some other name is figuring on your screen.
No,
Chin-
actually, that is my son's. Chinmaya Krishna
Okay.
Yam is my son's. This
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So I was traveling and I quickly tried to connect with you. And maybe I will be meeting you in Bangalore probably.
Sure, sir.
Right?
Please.
I
Whenever
have a
you are,
lot of things to interact with you.
please come, sir.
just
Please come. Please come.
Okay.
Dr.
Right.
Thank you,
Sushil sir, it's been a long time to
Hey,
see you, sir.
Asarullah Sahab,
Thank you, sir.
kaise? How are you? All
Yes,
well?
sir. Fine, sir. And you, sir?
All well, all well. Any plan coming to India?
Sir, I will see what happens next.
Yeah, please. And your project is going on well, no? Your
Yes,
project.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Very,
you.
very
Thank you so much. Good
delighted to see you, sir.
Good to see you after a long time.
Mhm.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.